I'd like to call the meeting of the Danville Public Works Committee committee to order January 10th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Chairman Mike Poor,
Present.
Vice Chair Mike O'Kane,
Here.
Alderman Alicia Ford,
Present.
Bob Iverson,
Here.
Jim Pritchard,
Present.
Carolyn Wands,
Present.
Heidi Wilson,
Present.
7 present.
7 present. Thank you. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes. These will be from the December 13th, 2022 meeting. If there's no corrections, need a motion to approve those, please.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 3 is approve the agenda. There are no deletions from the agenda, so need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Hello, Mayor. I told you to take your time.
I just got here, so I thought I should come. I apologize, y'all. We just returned home from my brother-in-law's retirement ceremony from the Marines after 21 years in North Carolina. So literally just getting in off the road, so I apologize.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4, audience comments.
We have none.
None? Anyone wish to address the Public Works Committee? No? Okay. Item number 5, chairman's comments. I have none as well. We'll move on to the payrolls. These will be approving the payrolls for January 6, 2023. Need a motion to put those on the table, please.
So moved.
Second.
Questions on payrolls? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Pritchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Item number 7, the approval of vouchers payables. These will be for January 10th, 2023. Need a motion to put those on the table, please.
So moved. Second.
Questions on the payables? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Pritchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Item number 8, Police Chief Yates, we have 8 days of resolution authorizing the purchase of a 5-year subscription of body-worn cameras and supporting equipment. Need a motion to put that on the table, please.
So moved. Second.
Chief?
We're getting to the point where we have quite a few cameras down. We've had them since 2019, and that technology changes flips over, well, quite often. But what this is going to be a system to where we purchase, it's a 5-year plan. We won't have to worry about the warranties and issues with them going down. That's just a 1-year warranty. This will be covered under the life of the program. This will be all cloud storage, so we will not have to purchase any additional IT stuff to support it.
Question for the chief.
Are these rental or are they buyout purchase?
There is a buyout option at the end of the 5th year. However, this is more of a what do we call a lease or an agreement, subscription agreement.
Okay.
Alderman O'Kane.
Just trying to figure out things. 5-year contract. I'm fighting this at home, coming at me where I've got stuff in the cloud, and then if I decide not to stay with this company, what happens?
I think if we decide to go with another company, there would be some issues within the contract that we'd have to work out as far as storage. However, we don't, the cloud storage would probably have to be purchased for any type of evidence, but we can download it onto our hard, we'll back it up on our system in-house.
Keep some stuff
Yeah,
separate.
so we can actually, once we get rid of all the stuff that we have to maintain for 3 years, that was the agreement or by statute with the grant purchase that we made before, the state law only requires us to hold it for 90 days. That's non-evidentiary. However, when we had it under the state grant, we had to keep all footage for 3 years. So every day that goes by since September of 2022, that day purges, and it's gone. With this system, since we're purchasing it with local funds or our budget, we're able to keep it for 90 days. Anything after 90 days, if it's not flagged as evidence or items required for miscellaneous reasons, it automatically purges itself, so we don't have that high storage cost.
Glad it's your problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it sounds like it could be a problem in the far future.
yeah. Well, there's always concerns with that, but I'm not, with IT, I'd leave that to the AAAs to answer.
That's all.
Alderman Ford.
I was just wondering, reading through that, as far as like insuring these products?
We don't, ensuring the actual items or the cameras?
Right, as far as having insurance on them.
Yeah, that's covered through the agreement, like a warranty and in case one gets broken.
Okay.
That's all under the agreement.
Anyone else?
And if I may add, we're well ahead of any of the state requirements for body cameras. We started this program before it was even a thought with the safety grant or Safety Act.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman Iverson,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes,
Ford,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. Chief, items of information?
No, not really, other than, we've got 4 in the academy right now. We have 5 in training. We are very close to having our full numbers after we went from 62 to 64 to 70. So we'll be at full strength in May.
Good.
Problem is, we can only efficiently and effectively train 6 officers at a time without totally burning out our field training officers. And so that sort of limits us, but also 6 is a good number, max, at a time. And we've got 4 right now, 5 in training.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 9, Public Transportation Director Beeth, items of information, your monthly report.
So the only thing I'll just elaborate a little bit on my summary. Our new mass transit street supervisor did start yesterday. His name's Brian Guthrie, and a little background on him. In his previous life, he was a corrections officer at the prison. And, part of his job responsibilities is to work out conflicts between passengers and passengers, or passengers and drivers, or, hopefully not drivers and drivers. But so he has, a lot of conflict resolution skills that I think will really pay off in this position. But just a really nice guy. Everybody has, really warmed up to him already. He's already got the proper license, so he can kind of almost hit the ground running, and so we're real lucky to have him on board.
Questions for the director? Zoom meeting tomorrow?
Pardon me?
Zoom meeting tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 10, Public Works, Director Carpenter is not here. Who's filling? Oh, Dave is going to fill in. 10A is an ordinance approving the purchase of real estate for community improvement for property address 934 North Gilbert. Need a motion to put that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Maybe Sam's taking this one.
Yeah, this is just one of the properties on the Kirchner redevelopment area. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Is this the corner?
No, this is this is on Gilbert Street, 2 houses. It's not the north corner, but 2 houses south of that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Bouchard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10B is a resolution amending the fiscal year 22-23 streets budget 031. Need a motion to put that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
This is basically a budget amendment for a purchase order from last fiscal year that we used in anticipation. We had some leftover funds from last year's salt budget, or streets budget in general, that we carried over for purchase of salt to finish out last year's salt order. So we bought the max, kind of knowing that we would have an increase in salt prices this year. We saw quite a drastic increase, so that all worked out. However, as that salt was delivered last year, the remainder of the salt, we made an error and coded it to this year's this fiscal year rather than the purchase order from last year. So this is basically closing that purchase order out from last year and then taking the remaining funds on that purchase order and putting them into this year's line item as substitute.
Questions? Okay, roll call, please.
But you're not going to need this, right? You're not going to need this because it's not going to snow the rest of the winter.
Unfortunately, due to the prices of salt this year, we're going to need this, and I'm hoping that we don't have to come back and ask for more money as well. But we do have kind of stipulations put in place to make sure we can kind of cover as much as we can. So,
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Bouchard,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10C is a resolution approving a professional service agreement for stormwater management projects. Need a motion to put that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
Who wants to take this?
Sorry, I was staring at my screen. Basically, this is the design agreement with the consulting firm that was selected to do the design for the ARPA-funded stormwater projects. The projects that we identified, through that whole process. Just so you all know how we arrived at this consultant, we go through the qualification-based selection process with federal funds. Basically, that means that we send out a request for qualifications for this specific project. Interested firms submit their qualifications. We review those. A team, which included myself, Assistant City Engineer Eric Childers, and Dave Rui, we score those, and then we interviewed the top 2 consultants from scores. And then based on those interviews, basically we select the firm that we believe is the most uniquely qualified to do the work. And then we negotiate a contract, scope, and fee with that consulting engineer. So all that's done in accordance with federal requirements, and that's how we have arrived at this agreement today. So,
And that'll just be $1 million out of the $8 million.
that's correct. So this would be, I think it was 8.2 or 8.3. I can't remember the exact number. There is a little bit of contingency in this, and actually this does include some sewer televising also, so that we can inspect the condition of the main sewers that we hope to be able to reuse, or figure out if we can or cannot reuse them, basically. So it's a fairly robust, design thing. One thing just to be aware of, we're really at a point where we don't know enough about each project to have a detailed final design budget. So what we've put into this is an allowance for final design. We've got to do studies first on each of these, figure out what the final design scope needs to be, and then we didn't want to have to come. Not that we didn't want to. We're not trying to avoid coming back, but we don't want to create delays in the project by if we complete the study, go through a bunch of commentary, then have to negotiate a whole nother scope, then come back to council. We can easily lose 2 to 3 months in that process, and we want to make sure this keeps moving. So you'll see us through the project, we'll try to revise scope. We think we've got enough budget in here to accomplish all that, but we're not going to know until we get through the study phase for sure. So.
Okay. Oh, Iverson?
Is this, does Farnsworth, is it just for the engineering and design, or do they actually stay with the project to see that it's worked on the way
Yeah, so
they thought.
basically this agreement that we put together, and it's really a placeholder. They put together an estimated budget for construction engineering, and typically what we'll do is, okay, they'll do the study, they'll do the design, we review all this and coordinate with them. When we get to construction, some of the projects we may be able to cover with our own staff. Some of it we may not have the resources to do. There's a lot of things we don't know about the projects and the schedules a couple years out right now. So what we've kind of budgeted for is assuming they would cover half of the projects roughly. At a minimum, we would keep them engaged and have a small contract to answer questions in the field, review technical drawings related to structural submittals or material submittals, things like that, to make sure that everything is built per plan. That's a process that we've done typically on all our projects for the last several years since I've been here, to make sure that the engineer of record and the person stamping the plans is engaged all the way through to make sure that we're meeting what the design intent was.
Alderman O'Kane?
Time schedule, will this get us the planning done and construction started and completed to spend the ARPA money?
Yes,
Keep the government happy?
it will. I mean, I don't know if we're going to keep the government happy, but we're going to try. But yes, it will. We feel like we've got some realistic time frames in here that can be accomplished. We'd be on pace to award construction in the late fall of 2024. So we're starting study now. We're looking at about 6 to 8 months for the study phase, go into design phase, hopefully be finished with that by middle of 2024, I guess it would be already. And then second half of 2024, we would be doing bidding, working with utilities on utility relocations, things like that, likely going to construction in 2025. There may be a few projects that are less complex that we can get out the door earlier. So they won't necessarily all be bid as one big mega project. It's possible we'll break them into 2 or more subgroups for the construction phase.
I'm just always scared because every town in the area is gonna have to spend that money
Yeah.
at the same time.
I used to be scared, but there'd be so much to be scared of, I'd never sleep at night, so I got used to it.
That.
Is any of the information gathered from the previous stormwater study, is that any of that going to be able to be used?
It is. That's actually what's steered us towards these main projects. I think by the time this is done, 9 out of the top 10 will have been addressed. We are using that as kind of the focal point of the studies to figure out, okay, we know these are problem areas. What are the solutions? How big is the problem area? So that's really where we're starting. Part of what the consultant's tasked with is looking back at the specific complaints and issues in each of these areas to make sure that we are considering not just what we saw or what we see in modeling in the study, but is there something we're missing based on the commentary that happened at that point? So that's something that's part of the scope for sure.
Good.
And this is one of the reasons why it's really important that we get our constituents to use the Reported app, because then there's logged information, detailed what they saw, what they experienced, what happened in their house, on their street, in their neighborhood, that they can use so that we can be sure to get the problem fixed.
Did you see Sherry?
What's that? Who has that?
Alderwoman.
Oh,
Vickery.
Just had a question about the maps. I noticed on the figure 6, the Porter Street Storm Sewer Project, the little blue boxes, there's a lot more there than any place else. What are those? Can you tell me?
Alderwoman, what page are you on?
Yeah, that's
42 of 76, it's the maps.
Gotcha, thank you.
Let's see. Oh, the little blue boxes, those are existing storm inlets. So that's likely just an area that has more storm sewers, albeit they may not be big enough or in good enough condition, but that's what that represents. Existing the blue lines are storm sewer lines, and the boxes are either manholes or storm inlets.
Thanks.
Other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10D is a resolution approving a professional services agreement for completion of the Vermillion County Safety Action Plan for the Danville Area Transportation Study. Need a motion to put that on the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All right, so I think the resolution kind of spells it out, but basically we've previously been working on a project with Lockmuller Group related to identifying grants that are out there to meet the many needs that both City of Danville and a lot of the member agencies have. Through that process, we've really identified that we're lacking a lot of safety data and information that we need to make a competitive case for a lot of these projects. So this project, basically the goal is to look at accident reports, various reports, geometrics. There'll be public involvement that takes, into account public's concerns. There'll likely be engagement with police chief, sheriff, lots of other entities to figure out what the real transportation safety concerns are, not just in Danville, but countywide, actually. So that serves an area bigger than just Danville. The county is also engaging, and we're going to look at this from a county perspective with the goal of, I think we've done a decent job the last few years of getting a handle on, from a condition standpoint, what are our needs? And, we've got a long ways to go, but we've made a lot of progress there. We don't have a great handle on, aside from somebody calls with concerns about a certain spot, what the data shows the real problems are, or where we're not able to make data-based decisions on safety improvements. This will do a lot to help us with prioritizing those properly. So, and it turns out there's an awful lot of work that goes into this. So, anyway, I certainly expect that you all have opportunities to be engaged along the way in the process too.
Questions? No? Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman O'Kane,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Iverson,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
Wands,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes, thank you. 10E, items of information.
Really no big items of information, just continuing on with our normal operations and then planning for next year's projects and praying that the temperatures stay up and snow stays away. So, you have anything you'd like to add?
Just this is kind of a big project that's out to bid right now. We actually have the Garfield Park and Pool project out to bid currently. We're holding the pre-bid meeting tomorrow where contractors can come in and ask questions about the project, do site visit, things like that. Bids are scheduled to be open February 3rd. So we're hoping to have, it seems like there's some good interest in the project at this point. We're hoping that market conditions are favorable in at least any way as we move forward with this project. But it's exciting to see it moving along.
Sam, did you say mid-February?
February 3rd is when we would be opening the bids. So likely we will be, I would expect to come to you, assuming bids are, roughly where we expect them to be, coming to council for award in mid-February. So,
Yard waste stickers on sale yet?
I do believe so, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Item number 11, closed session. There is no need for closed session. Item number 12, items of information. Mayor, do you have anything?
If you haven't driven out yet, you should drive out to Eastgate and Southgate and take a look at FedEx and the casino. It's crazy to see how far along they've come. Gosh, the casino is starting to look like the pictures, which is good. And Christie is set to open, I believe, next week. And then Carl should be opening in mid-February. So we have a lot of big things coming to fruition simultaneously, which is pretty exciting.
When is FedEx opening?
Next month as well, I
Next
believe.
month.
I don't have an exact date. They haven't given us a grand opening date yet, though.
MLK Motorcade Monday, right?
That's correct. So we line up at 10, leave by 10:30, and then the service at St. James starts at 11:30. So hope to see you all there.
Okay, committee members' comments. No? My goodness, haven't satisfied the agenda. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
I got something else.
Okay.